The sun had barely risen when Leo, Maya, and Finn gathered under the large oak tree in Leo's backyard, the magical map spread out before them. The air was cool, with the scent of dew clinging to the grass, but there was an electric excitement among the trio.
We're really doing this,
Leo said, tightening the straps on his backpack. His green eyes sparkled with the promise of adventure.
I guess so.
Maya replied hesitantly, biting her lower lip. She had her sketchbook tucked under her arm, her fingers idly tracing the dragon she had drawn the night before. Although part of her was still skeptical, the other part, her more creative and curious side, was eager to see if the legend was true. Finn, the most practical of the group, was busy triple-checking their supplies. Water bottles, snacks, flashlights, notebooks, and the strange ancient map they had found in the mysterious library. His glasses perched on the bridge of his nose, he looked up at Leo and Maya, his usual calm expression clouded with a mixture of excitement and nervousness.
I've been thinking, the map might lead us to something real, but we need to be smart about this. We don't know what we're walking into.
That's what makes it fun, Finn. What's an adventure without a little risk?
A safer one, maybe.
Where's the fun in that?
Despite her caution, Maya smiled too, and Finn sighed in resignation. As much as they all had their reservations, there was a part of each of them that felt the pull of the unknown, the thrill of discovering something truly magical. With the map guiding them, they set off from Oak Ridge, heading toward the forest on the outskirts of town, where the map showed the hidden path to the enchanted mountains. The sun was high in the sky when the kids reached the edge of the forest. The trees here were ancient, their branches twisted and gnarled, forming a thick canopy overhead that filtered the sunlight into golden beams.
According to this, there's supposed to be a hidden trail somewhere around here.
Finn peered over his shoulder.
I think it's there,
he said, pointing toward a cluster of particularly tall trees. At first glance, there didn't seem to be any path, but as they approached, the brush and undergrowth parted slightly, revealing a narrow trail.
That's creepy.
Maya murmured, glancing around. Leo, always eager to lead the way, stepped forward with a grin.
Come on, it's just a magical forest. What's the worst that could happen?
As they entered the woods, the temperature seemed to drop, and the air became heavy with the scent of earth and pine. The deeper they went, the more otherworldly it felt. The birds didn't chirp here, and the wind didn't whistle through the trees. It was almost as if the forest was watching them, waiting.
I don't like this.
Maya whispered. She hugged her sketchbook tighter to her chest, her eyes darting around nervously. Finn, however, was fascinated. He ran his fingers over the bark of the trees, noticing strange markings carved into the trunks.
These symbols, they look ancient. I think they're magical runes, but I can't be sure,
he said, jotting them down in his notebook. Leo continued ahead, unfazed.
We're on the right track, I can feel it.
The path wound deeper and deeper into the forest until the trees finally began to thin. Suddenly, they stepped out into a wide clearing, and in the distance, rising up like jagged teeth, were the enchanted mountains. The sight took their breath away. The mountains shimmered in the light, their peaks wrapped in mist, and the sky above them was unlike any sky they had ever seen. It wasn't just blue, it was a swirl of colors with hints of gold, silver, and pink, like a dream made real.
We made it,
Leo said in awe, his voice barely above a whisper. But before they could take another step, the ground beneath them trembled, and a deep, rumbling voice filled the air.
Who dares approach the realm of the Golden Dragon?
The voice seemed to come from everywhere at once, by Kichin Kinkoi Kininkon, vibrating through the air and into the ground, making their hearts race. The kids stood frozen, eyes wide as the voice echoed again, even more powerful this time.
I said, who dares approach?
Before they could answer, a figure stepped out from the shadows at the edge of the clearing. She was tall and graceful, with long silvery hair that fell past her shoulders. Her eyes, a piercing shade of violet, seemed to glow faintly in the dim light of the clearing. She wore a flowing robe of deep blue, embroidered with silver symbols that shimmered as she moved. In her hand she held a wooden staff carved with intricate runes.
I am Ilaria, guardian of the Enchanted Mountains, and you are trespassing.
We didn't mean to trespass. We found this map in the Old World Library, and it led us here.
Ilaria's eyes narrowed as she gazed at the map. She extended her hand, and with a flick of her wrist, the map floated toward her, glowing faintly in the air. She studied it closely, her expression unreadable.
This is no ordinary map. It is ancient, older than your world and mine. It was meant to stay hidden.
But we didn't mean any harm. We're just curious.
Ilaria's gaze softened slightly as she looked at the three of them.
Curiosity can be dangerous, child, especially in a place like this. The Enchanted Mountains are not a place for ordinary humans. They are filled with magic, both light and dark. And the Golden Dragon is not the only one who guards this realm.
Leo's curiosity only grew.
But the golden dragon, it's real? And the eggs, are they real too?
Ilaria hesitated, then nodded slowly.
Yes, the Golden Dragon is real. Her name is Aurora, and she has guarded the 3 eggs for centuries. The fire, water, and earth eggs hold the balance of this world and yours. If they were to fall into the wrong hands...
Her voice trailed off, but the warning was clear.
That's why we're here. We want to help. We want to protect the eggs from whoever is trying to steal them.
Ilaria studied them for a long moment, her violet eyes flicking between each of their faces. Finally she sighed, as if making a difficult decision.
You are brave, but bravery alone is not enough. There is an evil sorcerer, Zarok, who once sought to protect the dragons, but has since turned dark. He seeks the eggs for his own gain, to wield their power and control both worlds.
Then we definitely need to help. We can't let Zarok get his hands on those eggs.
Ilaria shook her head.
It is not that simple. The path to the eggs is treacherous. Each egg is hidden in a place filled with magical traps and guarded by ancient creatures. You may not survive the journey.
We'll take that risk. We didn't come this far to turn back now.
Ilaria raised an eyebrow, clearly impressed by their determination.
Very well. If you are truly committed to this task, I will guide you. But be warned, once you start, there is no turning back. You must complete the journey, or the balance of both worlds will be lost.
Leo, Maya, and Finn exchanged nervous glances, but there was no doubt in any of their eyes.
We're in.
Then follow me. There is much to prepare before you can face the first challenge.
Ilaria led them deeper into the mountains, where the landscape became even more surreal. The trees were taller, their leaves shimmering with silver light, and strange creatures darted through the underbrush, disappearing before the kids could get a good look at them. After what felt like hours of walking, they reached a small clearing at the base of a towering volcano. The ground beneath their feet was warm, and the air smelled faintly of sulfur.
To reach the egg, you must outsmart it and navigate the traps within the volcano. It is guarded by an ancient beast known as the Inferno Serpent, a creature of flame and fury. The fire egg. This is where the first egg is hidden.
That sounds awesome.
Maya, on the other hand, looked less thrilled.
We have to face a giant fire serpent. Are you sure we can't just talk to it?
Ilaria smiled faintly.
I'm afraid the Inferno Serpent does not respond well to conversation.
Great.
To be continued. Next episode is The Inferno Serpent's Lair.